Hi, I'm Brian Dalton. I do the Mr. Deity Show, and I am an atheist for many reasons, not the least of which is that the God of Abraham is a complete asshole. He is a monster who has committed genocide, ordered the rape of female prisoners of war, the murder of homosexuals, non-virgin girls, Sabbath breakers, apostates, you name it. And I just simply don't get in line with following monsters. So I hope you'll join me.
Not so peaceful monks. Whore and bitch were the words used by a firebrand Burmese Buddhist monk upon receiving criticism from a female UN Special Human Rights Envoy criticizing a system of religious apartheid taking root in Burma. A sect of extremist monks known as the Organization for the Protection of Race and Religion, locally known as Ma Ba Tha, is the focus of the controversy. This group has fallen under the scrutiny of the Security and Conflict Research Organization, C4ADS, monitoring the spread of bigotry and inducement to violence against a religious minority. The Burmese Muslim minority has become the focal point for agitation by the Ma Ba Tha, most of it stirred by a monk called Warathu. He is well known for having repeatedly incited fear and violence against the stateless Rohingya Muslim minority, which already lives as a second-class citizen in the western regions of the country. While the Central Committee of Ma Ba Tha denies spreading hate speech, saying we are not telling anyone to hate Muslims, these denunciations ring hollow in the light of Warathu's pronouncement to a U.S. delegation in 2014 that many Buddhists are living in constant daily fear of falling under the sword of Islamic extremists, and that protection of race and religion should be a priority for the incoming government headed by the National League for Democracy political party. Adding urgency to the perception of an existential threat to Buddhists is a video posted in Facebook depicting a 27-year-old Buddhist woman being sexually assaulted and murdered by knife-wielding alleged Muslim assailants during prayers at a Western shrine. The video was blocked by Facebook on February 1st, but that allowed enough time for interfaith violence to erupt, resulting in at least 200 dead and over 100,000 homeless. Warathu has a track history of this sort of agitation, and he has been jailed in 2003 as the instigator of an anti-Muslim riot that turned deadly. Yet allegations may not be wholly without basis in this instance. The Muslims in question were convicted in a court of law and sentenced to death for rape and murder. One of the trio hung himself before sentencing could be carried out. While government officials do not countenance retaliation publicly, it is worth noting that the NLD party did not offer a single Muslim among over 1,100 candidates in the recent elections. In a country divided by religion, the Machiavellian Ma Ba Tha appear poised to take advantage of simmering faith-based conflicts, leaving a bloody stain across Burma. He's shaking in his Christian boots. Fear not, BBC viewers, you will not be subjected to a spiritual headlock, according to the promise made by a new host of BBC Radio 2's breakfast show. In a sign of the shifted religious and cultural landscape of jolly old England, a self-described devout Christian feels the need to preempt religious criticism by vowing that his Christian faith will not affect the way I do my job. Dan Walker was recently interviewed by Chris Evans on The Breakfast Show, where he reminded viewers that modern Britain is supposed to be a tolerant society, whether the host might be atheist, Muslim, or even a Christian. Walker wants to live in a world where Gary Lineker can present Match of the Day even though he's a Leicester City fan, John Humphreys can do a Radio 4 even though he's an atheist. Not the sort of world where he experiences persecution for not joining the growing tide of British abandoning Anglicanism and other trappings of traditional religion. The new show host explained that just because he enjoys spending time at church with family and friends does not mean that he turns into a weird pumpkin at 1 past midnight on Sunday morning. With Christianity on the knife edge of terminal decline in Britain, this may be a harbinger of the ever-increasing novelty of open profession of Christian beliefs in British public life. Dan Walker began his official duties on February 29th. Just don't ask him to work on Sundays. Latter-day Reposters. On February 1st of this year, the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints website suffered a glitch which reposted numerous old articles to that day's date. Among those articles was one from 2010 entitled Effectiveness of Church Approach to Preventing Child Abuse. Many who found the reposted article before the glitch was discovered assumed that the church had intentionally updated and reposted the article. Many assumed this article was going up as damage control after the arrest of Frank John Sellis III, a man who had been living in San Diego under an assumed name and had been removed from all positions related to children at his Mormon congregation due to behavior which violated church policies related to child safety. Celis, as it turned out, had fled to Louisiana decades before, and after several accusers came forward to implicate him in the sexual abuse of children. The problem is, the article in question is widely considered a self-serving propaganda piece that inaccurately claims the LDS Church is proactive and diligent in its approach to training and preventing. It reportedly contains inaccurate and demonstrably false claims about church policy effectiveness in curtailing sexual abuse.